Hello friends, welcome back to Cosmopolitan Cornbread. I am in here in the kitchen getting dinner started. I pulled out one of our chuck roasts from our cow that we had in the freezer, or our half cow. And so that has been thawing out, and I'm just going to make a very simple pot roast. Well, beef roast. I'll start it in my pot and it'll go into the oven. So to begin, the first thing I'm going to do is add a little bit of oil to my Dutch oven here. I'm going to start heating that up, get it nice and hot. I'm going to grab some paper towels. So I'm going to open this up, pull this out, and I'm just going to kind of pat it dry a little bit with my paper towels. This is a beautiful bone-in roast. I just want to get as much of the moisture off of the surface as possible. That side. So I'm going to salt and pepper the first side of the roast. And then once this goes into the pot, I'll go ahead and I'll salt and pepper the other side as well. So I'm just going to plop this roast into the pot, and I'm not going to touch it, I'm not going to move it, I'm just going to let it sit for about 2 or 3 minutes. Salt and pepper the other side. I don't know if you saw, but when I put this in here, I flipped it over so that the salt and peppered side was down. While that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cut an onion just into half after I peel it. Alright, so now I'm just going to carefully flip this over. So I'm just going to cut the carrots into pieces, just big chunks, removing my little end pieces. My roast is seared on both sides, so I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the pot for the time being. Look at that color. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, set that right back in my pan. And now I'm just going to take these onions that I cut in half, and I'm going to put them cut side down. We're not going to sear them as much as we did the roast. We're just going to give them a little bit of color. Alright, my onion pieces have a little bit of color there. I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of bright. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my roast back in here and just kind of pushing the onions off to the side. And I turned off my stove eye just for a minute while I get this all arranged. Now I'm going to take my carrot pieces, I'm just going to arrange them all around. And now I'm going to add some broth. So I had several people ask me, what in the world do you do with onion broth, when I made that recently. And this is one of the things that I'm going to do. Now, generally, this would call for beef broth, but I have this amazing onion stock, and so I'm going to use this, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the better than bouillon, basically bouillon, to give it that added beef flavor. So I'm just going to put in my quart of onion stock here. I'm going to add a little bit, probably like 2 of these of the better than bouillon, and I'll just put one of these little clumps on each side of the roast down in the liquid. So it's probably about a teaspoon altogether. And that'll dissolve as this cooks. Now I'm going to add some herbs. We've got some thyme, about a teaspoon of the dry leaves. We've got some rosemary, about a teaspoon of dry leaves, or a sprig if you've got some fresh. And we're going to add 2 bay leaves, or a few if they're broken pieces. Put those in the liquid. Well, so it looks like I'm also out of fresh and minced garlic, so I'm just going to use a little bit of this. Just some garlic paste, and I'll do like I did with the bouillon. I'll just put a little bit on either side of the roast in the liquid, and it will dissolve and, you know, work its way through the broth as it's cooking. Let's see, we'll put some over there, and put some over there. I love garlic, so if you don't like a lot of garlic, you wouldn't use as much. Alright. Now, I forgot to preheat my oven, so what I'm going to do is while it's preheating, I'm just going to turn my stove eye back on real low. And we're just going to let this simmer while my oven is heating up, and then once the oven comes up to 275, we will pop this whole thing into the oven and let it do its thing. Hi, babies. Okay, you're good on your water. Calm down, crazies. Fill your food up. All right. So, here's one of our chicks. You can see how big they're getting. I think this one's actually a rooster, which we were not supposed to have any roosters. However, this one sure acts like one. Don't you? So, keeping the babies in the greenhouse here has been working pretty well. So the other day I was in here transplanting all of my seedlings. I had done a bulk seed start where I had lots of seeds all in the same pot, and so now we've got all sorts of baby plants here. Let's see if I could darken that a little bit so you can maybe see them. So now you can see there. So this is all herbs. This is all herbs, and then this third tray over here is all cucumbers. And actually my son started these, but I think he has started way more than he can grow in his flower box. So it looks like I'm going to be growing some cucumbers too, I think, which is fine. I had a little bit of a situation with my herbs though, because when I started them, I had this great idea to, well, let me back up. When I started them, I had forgotten to bring something out to mark all of the pots. And so I thought, well, I've got my camera, I'll just film it and I'll keep track of what order I plant everything, and then I'll come out here later and mark them. Except I deleted the footage. So I have all of these herbs that I started. I have no idea what they are because I actually don't even remember exactly what all I planted. Of course, the purple basil is pretty obvious. I know I did plant 3 different kinds of basil. The regular Italian basil, the purple basil, and then Tulsi basil. So there are some basils in there. I'll be able to tell those apart when they get bigger. But I also planted some thyme, I planted some sages, and I know there were other herbs that I planted, but I can't even remember what they were. So I guess it'll just be a little bit of a mystery and we'll see what comes up. And then down here I've got all of my tomatoes that I started. I've got my zinnias and my cosmos that I started. And of course I've got, I think, more than I'm going to need. So I'm just going to be, I think, randomly planting zinnias and cosmos just all over the place. And we've got a good bunch of tomatoes. So I'm going to grab my water hose and we'll give all of these a little drink of water. Alright friends, so the plants are all watered. It is already almost dark outside, and dinner is done inside the house, and I'll be going in there to enjoy it here in just a few minutes. But really quick, I wanted to just share a few things with all of you. First of all, I am entering a really busy time of year, and for years I have been doing 3 videos a week, plus now scripture reading on the weekend. And this coming week in particular, it will be my, you know, the annual admitting you're actually a serf and that we aren't really free people. It's tax week. And I am normally a very organized person. As a matter of fact, last year when I took all of our tax stuff to the accountant, he looked at everything that I had there and he said, "Why are you having me do your taxes?" Well, I have not been as organized this year, and so it is going to be a major pain in the you-know-what to do the taxes this year, and of course it's coming up here very soon. So this week I'm not going to be doing 3 videos, and to be honest, for a little while I'm going to be cutting back on my videos. I feel like I'm really behind on some things that need to be done around here, and there are days where I just wish I could completely stop doing everything and just live my life. But don't worry, I'm not going to go anywhere. However, I am going to pull back just a little bit. Instead of 3 videos throughout the week, I'm going to cut it back to 2. Most likely this is just a temporary cutback while I'm playing catch up, while I'm getting the taxes done, while I'm doing some things around here that need to be done. And so I'm just going to be doing 2 regular videos each week, and then my scripture reading on Saturdays. And so I just wanted to let you guys know that you could expect to see that change. I'm not really positive which days of the week I'm going to be posting videos. This week it will be Monday and Friday, but after that, I don't know, maybe it'll be Monday, Thursday. We'll just kind of see how it goes. The other thing I wanted to mention, part of that feeling like I'm behind everything situation that I'm in, part of that is my email. I am so incredibly behind on my emails. I've had people message me. I actually had a lady message me asking if I was upset with her because I hadn't responded to her emails, and I am just so behind. I was already behind on my email, and then something happened where the program that I have used for years to manage all of my email accounts decided it was no longer going to recognize my email, and I have not been able to use my program to manage my emails now for over a month. The only way I can access my email is through my website host, and if you know anything about website hosting, accessing your email through that is insane. It is not user friendly. It's not meant to really be used that way. And so I'm incredibly behind, and I apologize if you are someone who's been waiting for an email response from me. Really, honestly, the easiest way to get a message to me in a timely manner, even though I hate using it, is through Instagram Messenger or Facebook Messenger, because I access those on a regular basis. I see right away if I've got a notification, and I can check those messages. I even downloaded another program on my computer to try and manage my emails that way, and I couldn't get it to work either. So I'm not really sure what is going on, but if you have been waiting for an email from me, again, I apologize. I am so incredibly behind, and that is one of the reasons I need to step back just a little bit. I need to get caught up on that and a few other things around here. But before I wrap this up, there is one other thing that I wanted to share. Of course, this is Monday. It is April 8th, which is Eclipse Day. Who knows what's going to come of that. I did post a story on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, and it was a joke. Okay, I don't know if people thought I was being serious about it, But I did a little, like, you know, the whole world is talking about this eclipse and everybody's acting like this, and I put a shot of that scene from the original Independence Day movie where everyone's on the rooftop and they're looking up and they're all partying and they're super excited. And I said, and I'm hoping it's not going to be this. And it was the next scene where it was like the fire came out of the spaceship and just like... I had a couple responses to that I think people thought I was absolutely serious about that. I am not afraid of the eclipse. And by the time this video goes up, it will have probably already happened. I do not live in fear. I'm not afraid of things like that. However, I will say the Bible does say that God created the sun and the moon and the stars to give us signs and seasons. And he has used the sky, eclipses, and things like that to give us signs throughout human history. So I do think they are something to be mindful of, but not necessarily to live in fear of them. Either way, we should always be prayed up. We should be living for the Lord, make sure our soul is right with him, so that no matter what comes in life, that we're prepared to meet him. And on a lighter note, again, today, the day this video goes up, is April 8th, which means it is the end of the March Canning Madness giveaway. And as I'm filming this right now, it is still Sunday evening. And so when this video goes up, I will have inserted a little box right down here. This will be the winner of the March Canning Madness giveaway. I used a tool that goes through the comments and just like randomly pulls up a comment. So this person right here, this comment was selected, and this person needs to email me. I'm going to give you a different email address right here. Email me right here because I have had no issues getting into this address. If you are this person, send me an email. Send me an email right here to claim your prize. And congratulations. This is the winner of the pressure canner, the brand new Presto pressure canner, the 240 superb canning lids, and the extra goodies that will be going along with those. So thank you to everyone who entered. Like I mentioned before, I do hope to make that an annual thing, to do the March Canning Madness and give away every year, Lord willing. So with that, I'm going to head into the house and I'm going to enjoy my roast beef dinner.